Hello Legionnaires, this is Max the Alpha Legionnaire, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Warrior Discipline in the Earthdawn role-playing game. I originally scripted and recorded this video back in December 2018, but I didn't like it. Life being what life is, I wasn't able to get back to it until now. The good news is that real life has let up a bit, so I hope to be much more consistent with these Discipline videos. If you enjoy these Earthdawn Discipline videos, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe to this Legion of Myth channel. Likes, subscriptions, and comments all encourage me to make more of these videos about a game I dearly love. If you have not watched my earlier videos in the series, I encourage you to at least take a look at the inaugural episode titled Earthdawn, Disciplines and Adepts, an Overview, as it explains the nuances of what it means to be an adept who follows a discipline in the Earthdawn role-playing game. I'll post a link to that video in the description below. In regard to this particular episode on the Warrior, as well as all of the discipline-specific episodes, I will be discussing the Warrior Discipline primarily in terms of 4th edition Earthdawn. 4th edition is the most recent version of the game, and thus the most appropriate version to discuss. Where 4th edition information is lacking, or where I feel comparisons need to be made, I'll revert to previous editions as necessary, usually 1st edition as it's what I know best. So with that out of the way, let us raise our shields in honor of the Warrior. As we like to do here, let's start with the background and worldview of the Warrior. So what makes a Warrior Adept a Warrior Adept? What separates the Adepts of the Warrior Discipline from the grizzled sergeant who has spent lifelong years honing his craft, or the highly skilled mercenary commander with unparalleled success? As with every discipline, warrior adepts come in all shapes and sizes. Woe to anyone who underestimates the windling warrior. Whether the name giver is a soldier, a mercenary, an adventurer, or thrill seeker, there are two precepts all disciplined warriors share: loyalty and honor. Two ideas that cannot be separated. A warrior's loyalty to her cause and comrades is unquestioned. The warrior adept's honor enforces an obligation to them that supersedes any other duty. The warrior's cause may be for a kingdom, a passion, her traveling companions, a contract, or anything else in which she truly believes. This cause is unwavering until such time as victory is achieved, circumstances indicate the goal or cause isn't what was advertised, or the goal is literally impossible to obtain. A warrior adept seeks victory. As such, a warrior despises inaction and disunity, two concepts that are the antithesis of victory. She will destroy the cancers of treachery and traitors. Though an expert in the art of war, the average warrior does not love combat. Instead, she sees fighting as a nasty necessity, while taking pride in doing it well. A warrior adept views her enemy as dispassionately as possible, unclouded by rage or bloodlust. It's all about the mission, the objective. The warrior adept considers herself to be the true weapon of war. Her talents, prowess, and weapons are merely tools that hone her sharp edge and act as a shield and defense of her cause. Ultimately, a typical warrior desires nothing more than the cessation of war. For warrior adepts know they are at the front lines of battle. They are the ones who sacrifice the most. A warrior's duty is to complete the mission, to get the job done. The warrior adept does not fight for pride or glory. A warrior adept fights to win. A fighter comes to win a fight. A warrior arrives to win a war. With that in mind, a warrior adept knows that some battles cannot be fought. Some battles must be fought. And some battles require sacrifice in order to win the war. The warrior adept is a name giver of action, but not a bloodthirsty brute or plunderer. She is a honed and disciplined weapon in control of her actions. Warriors only kill when necessary to win the war, and seek the death of another only when no other option exists to end the threat. The only thing worse than death is failure, A warrior only surrenders when that action better serves the cause than fighting. In this case, the warrior is still the weapon, it's just that surrender has replaced the spear as the weapon of choice. Lastly, unlike some other disciplines whose adepts seek to make their mark as individuals or in the company of adepts of other disciplines, warrior adepts often band together in groups called orders, bound by loyalty and honor to a unified. So what does it mean to be the Warrior Adept's player? What should you expect if you choose Warrior as your character's discipline? While I'm not a metagamer, I will state that the Warrior discipline will be exactly as good as you make it. Unsurprisingly, the Warrior discipline is a pure combat discipline. Who'd have thought? Unlike the Swordmaster, who is part social and part combat, or the Sky Raider, who is pure offensive firepower, the warrior is the master of combat in all of its forms. On the surface, the warrior discipline is a working balance between initiative, with talents such as Tiger Spring and Air Dance, offensive capability through Waterfall Slam and Crushing Blow, and defensive capability via Avoid Blow, Earthskin, and Wound Balance. By selecting particular talent options, you can choose to retain this balance or focus on the style of play that suits your purpose. In Earthdawn, you can make your warrior defensive tank, an offensive juggernaut, or even a strategic officer and gentleman of your particular campaign. Remembering what was stated previously regarding the warrior's loyalty to her companions, I personally love the idea of making a warrior a more group-oriented character with talent options such as Distract, Tactics, and Rally, especially if there's already a Swordmaster or Sky Raider in the group. At 5th Circle, the warrior gets Battle Rights, which helps reduce the strain cost of one talent. Considering how much strain a warrior can potentially cause herself, this is an excellent ability indeed. At 9th Circle, the warrior expands this Battle Rights ability to include Battlefield Awareness, which prevents the warrior from being blindsided, carried, or surprised. As a personal opinion, I read somewhere that unarmed combat wasn't used in many Earthdawn games of previous editions. I find that idea to be quite silly. Part of the warrior's success is that the individual warrior is able to fight in all environments. With anything as the weapon, the warrior is the weapon. What better way to express that than with unarmed combat? I've had warriors in all of my campaigns throughout the world, and never once did a player not use unarmed combat or feel it was a waste of points. To be fair, in 1st edition, I never understood why the warrior had to wait until 6th Circle for the missile weapon talent either. I'm sure it had something to do with not infringing on the archer discipline. However, in my mind, the warrior discipline should have access to all combat forms as quickly as possible. With that said, in 4th edition, unarmed combat does remain a talent option, so the Warrior Adept character does retain the ability to learn this talent at the player's discretion. There's also this strange elemental theme with the 4th edition warrior, which I cannot place an origin. Someone cited the karma ritual of earth defense, water defense, air attack, and fire attack, but those are generic combat themes simply rephrased as ancient elements. For example, earth defense is the steadfast shield, able to take and resist blows. In martial arts, you practice taking hits, blocking, and not being knocked down through stances and balance techniques. Water defense is the art of fluidly moving to avoid or lighten incoming attacks. As my Sifu used to say, if he comes at you in line, you move as circle. If he comes at you as circle, you move in line. Air attacks are jabs and feints, dagger thrusts that are quick and unavoidable. In this, the quickness of air attack is countered by earth defense. In the case of an Earthdawn warrior who is in control of her emotions, fire attack is the explosive, full-court press combat form. The all-out assault of axe and limb in order to take your opponent out in one fell swoop. Since fire attack is designed to break any shield or stance, it's traditionally countered by water defense. Don't be there to take the hit. You learn all of these techniques in boxing, as well as in Eastern martial arts, if under different names. So I fail to see how the karma ritual gives the warrior an elemental theme. I mean, none of the warrior write-ups in 1st edition's The Adept's Way or 2nd edition's The Way of War indicate an elemental theme, and those articles actually go into the head of the warrior and philosophy of the warrior discipline. As far as talents go, air dance is akin to ice skating, and the various skins are a fantasy trope going way back, belonging to various games. Now, this isn't me complaining, but it is a head scratcher. The only way I ever envisioned an Earthdawn warrior connected to the elements was in the concept of the Battletech elemental, able to fight in any environment, the all-around fighter. But hey, maybe I'm the weird one here. So, why did I mention any of that, especially in a block about what to expect as a player? Because in addition to the creation of a talent called Waterfall Slam, which reads as using the elemental power of water, and the inclusion of Fireblood to the warrior discipline, which was one of the main reasons to play the Skyraider discipline in previous editions, the 4th edition Earthdawn warrior gets an incredible ability upon reaching 13th circle called Elemental Warrior. This ability allows the warrior to use the very elements of nature to harry opponents and keep them off balance. To me, this just feels weird. The one discipline that should be the most recognizable and easiest to understand and jump into for new players and grognards alike in any game system has been, in my opinion, overly mystified. I don't find it bad, just find it odd. With that said, and to bring this back on track, we'll move on to half magic. The warrior can use half magic to care for and repair her weapons and armor. Half magic may also be used for knowledge of military tactics and strategy, which can be a great way to ensure you're not heading into a potential ambush or about to be trapped between two land masses and slaughtered. As well as half magic for military history. Lastly, your warrior may use half magic to recognize warrior orders, famous ancient warriors, and ancient arms and armor. As I say in every episode, with great power comes some rules. Remember from my overview video that disciplines are not mere character classes, professions, or archetypes, they are lifestyles. And while the personal vision of each adept may differ, there are some foundations that must remain. To violate the warrior discipline is to violate the values of honor and loyalty. Betrayal, treachery, creating disunity will cause a crisis, as will the failure to eliminate a trick. A crisis is also triggered if the warrior breaks an oath, promise, or contract without cause. Finally, a warrior who is paralyzed with indecision or who murders a defenseless person, or generally in cold blood, will suffer a talent crisis as well. Remember, the warrior is a professional soldier, most likely even an officer, if not in rank, at least in presentation, not a bloodthirsty killer. As usual, I'm not going to talk about multidiscipline combinations, their advantages, and their effects, but I will mention that when taking on a second discipline, the warrior leans towards the weaponsmith, archer, and cavalryman, while staying away from the illusionist, thief, skyraider, swordmaster, and troubadour. In my games, I've had warrior characters venerate Thystonius, the obvious choice, as well as Floranus, Lacoste, and even Mindbruges. Ultimately, a warrior's personal vision will better determine which passion, if any, the character venerates. So, what are my final thoughts regarding the 4th edition warrior? From the perspective of someone who played and GM'd the previous editions of Earthdawn, some of the nuanced or thematic changes puzzle me. I find them to be completely unnecessary at best and even a bit ham-fisted into the discipline. I don't think there is anything wrong with the concept or theme of the 1st edition warrior, and I certainly did not need a philosophical theme or trope beyond honor and loyalty, professionalism. Now, speaking strictly in terms of 4th edition, without comparisons to previous iterations of the game, the warrior is a fantastic discipline. The combat versatility you will have when circling up your warrior is second to none. And the elemental flavor does give the discipline a feel that may ingratiate itself to a player who would otherwise look more towards the flashy swordmaster or fiery skyraider. This is honestly a discipline that is all about how you want to participate in the combat sessions of your Earthdawn game. Alright, I know I didn't go into my variations on a theme segment in this episode, but there's a lot of flexibility with the warrior. Simply stating that you can create a balanced warrior, a defensive tank, an offensive powerhouse, or even a group-oriented support character who still excels in combat should be enough to get the brain juices flowing and allow you to start dreaming up the type of warrior adept you want your character. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed this 5th video in my series that will eventually cover all of the primary disciplines in the Earthdawn setting. Please let me know what you think of this episode, the warrior discipline, and the Earthdawn setting as a whole. If you have a discipline you really want me to cover sooner rather than later, please let me know so I can move it to the top of my list. Unless comments, tweets, or Discord discussions change my mind, you can count on the Nethermancer, my favorite discipline, to be. Please subscribe to the Legion Myth channel, it helps us out more than you can know, and mash that bell icon so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. Finally, I want to let you know about the Legion Myth weekly live stream every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. See the description below for the link. Our hosts Garthon and Heathen Dog provide anime reviews, tabletop gaming fundamentals, comic book reviews, and other nerd topics that should interest you. If you can't catch them live, you can always watch past episodes on this Legion Myth YouTube channel. And with that, I will see you next time, and I hope you have a most wonderful day.